From a straight-up hardware standpoint, there's one decision here that immediately feels off. Buying smart glasses in 2025 that don't include any charging solution in the box is honestly pretty strange, especially when the device relies on a proprietary connector. Right now, if you pick up these Rokid glasses, charging isn't something you can do out of the box. You either need to buy a small adapter separately or invest in a dedicated charging case that includes the correct connector. That kind of upsell might make sense for optional accessories, but for basic functionality, it feels like a misstep. Hopefully, this is something Rokid seriously reconsiders for future revisions, because at minimum, a basic charging option should be included. With that out of the way, let's talk about what these glasses actually are. Coming fresh off CES, this is Rokid's first real push into the heads-up display space, and it's clear they're aiming for utility over novelty. I'm not going to spend too much time on software use cases, because there are already plenty of videos covering that side of things. What I will say is that this is the first HUD-style smart glass IV used that genuinely does something your phone can easily replace, and that is almost entirely thanks to translation. The translation system here is powered by multimodal AI running through the companion app, and it works across text, audio, and images. That means spoken conversations, printed signs, menus, documents, anything with a foreign language can be translated in real time and displayed directly in your field of view. That's the key difference. You're not pulling out your phone, lining up a camera, or breaking eye contact. The information just appears where you need it. To be fair, while Rokid does this well, competitors like Even Realities currently execute this feature even better. We'll dive deeper into those after SPI, another major conference coming up soon. One area where Rokid absolutely nails it is customization. The app gives you a surprising amount of control over how the glasses behave. You can tweak video settings, photo parameters, display brightness, sleep behavior, and how quickly the display turns off when you look away. That flexibility matters. One of my biggest frustrations with products like the Meta Ray-Ban displays is how locked down everything feels. If I want to sacrifice battery life for higher quality video or a longer display timeout, that should be my choice, and Rokid actually lets you make that call. That's really all I want to say on software, because the experience itself has already been well documented elsewhere. Let's move on to hardware, starting with design. These glasses are the result of a collaboration with Bolon in China. While Bolon isn't a brand I was deeply familiar with before this, the end result is noticeably more fashionable than many other smart glass attempts we've shown so far. From certain angles, you can still spot the waveguide embedded in the lenses, but at this stage of smart glass development, that's expected. These aren't invisible, but they're about as subtle as current technology allows. In terms of weight, I measured the glasses at just over 52 grams, which is slightly heavier than Rokid's official numbers. It's not an outrageous difference, but it's enough to be noticeable if you're being precise. More importantly, most of that weight sits right on the nose bridge. I measured roughly 4 newtons of force applied there. And while that doesn't sound dramatic, over several hours it can start to feel fatiguing, especially depending on how sensitive you are to the nosepad design. The good news is that the glasses are already relatively light overall. The next step is better weight distribution, not massive weight reduction. Temple pressure is the other big comfort factor. With my head width sitting around 16 centimeters, the pressure applied by the temples is moderate and very manageable. It's higher than traditional sunglasses, like Maui Jims, but still comfortable enough for all-day wear. However, if you have a wider head, pressure increases quickly. Just 1 or 2 additional centimeters can significantly ramp up the force on the sides of your head. These glasses are clearly optimized for small to medium head sizes, where comfort is at its best. Battery life is actually one of the more pleasant surprises here. Rokid's use of a single green monochrome display pays off in efficiency. According to the display manufacturer's specs, power consumption is extremely low, which makes Rokid's claim of 8 to 10 hours of mixed-use battery life completely believable. If you're only using the glasses, intermittently checking translations, glancing at navigation, or using them as a teleprompter, you should comfortably get through a full day. With the display constantly active at maximum brightness, battery life drops to around 2.5 to 3 hours, which is still reasonable for continuous use. That translates to about a 5% battery drop every 7 to 8 minutes. Video recording however, is where things fall apart. Just like with other smart glasses on the market, the camera is extremely power-hungry. In testing, I saw roughly a 5% battery drain in just over 2 minutes of recording, meaning a full charge would last around 45 minutes if you were recording continuously. Realistically, though, very few people are going to use these glasses that way. On the camera side, photos come in at the advertised 12 megapixels, while video starts at a lower baseline resolution that can be adjusted in the app. By default, video recording heavily crops the field of view by about 80%. You can change this, but many users probably won't, so it's something to be aware of out of the box. Audio performance is solid and predictable. At maximum volume, inner loudness is very high and easily audible to people nearby, even several feet away. That's not how you'll want to use them most of the time. At moderate and low volume levels, sound leakage drops significantly, while still maintaining clear in-ear audio. Overall loudness is more than adequate, and while I won't dive deep into sound quality here, nothing about the audio feels like a weak point. Now let's talk about the display, because this is where the most interesting engineering decisions show up. Rokid uses a green monochrome micro-LED panel from Jadebird with a native resolution of 480 by 640 pixels. Instead of using the full panel, Rokid digitally crops the active display area, allowing you to move the image up or down vertically within the app. That adjustment alone solves a common problem with HUD glasses, where the display sits too high and cuts off part of the image. Being able to reposition it makes a real difference in usability. There are limitations, though. When the display is pushed too far upward, you can start to see double image artifacts caused by the waveguide optics. This is likely tied to the surface relief grating design and ISNT, something that can be fixed through software alone. Pixel non-uniformity is another known issue with micro-LED panels. At high brightness levels, your eyes naturally compensate, but in low-light environments or when viewing dense content, differences between individual pixels become noticeable. This isn't unique to Rokid, it's a current limitation of micro-LED manufacturing. The lens and waveguide system itself is one of the most interesting aspects of these glasses. Rokid uses a single display panel located in the nose bridge that injects light into a binocular waveguide, delivering the image to both eyes simultaneously. This dramatically reduces cost and complexity compared to dual-panel systems, which is important for mass-market adoption. The trade-off is limited per-eye adjustment, but for a consumer-focused device, it's a reasonable compromise.